Go for it.
Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever the heck in the world you are. It's the one, the only majestic Magilla Gorilla from the Monetary Mayhem, the one and only Senor Silverback with the man who is the man of the blah blah blah. Not enough coffee this morning, CJ. Not enough coffee with the master of the flux capacitor, the producer par excellence, and the sidekick extraordinaire, CJ. We are back on Rogue Money Mornings. We're giving you the news, the views, and the information that's important to you. I was about to say fortune cookies that are important to you. My God, it's bad this morning. It's real bad. Anyway, check us out, roguemoney.net. Follow us on Twitter @TheRogueMoney and Rogue Money on Facebook. With that being said, check out our sponsors, myfreedomnow.us. Myfreedomnow.us. Find out how you can get your money, $600,000 unsecured. Get your credit fixed, get out of debt, whatever the heck you need. You're talking about cryptos on the run and you need money? Check them out. myfreedomnow.us. Get your money to work for you. With that being said, CJ, what's going on?
Hey, good morning, V. Good morning. How you doing?
Good, man. Good. Yesterday was just a long work day, dude. Long day. And then I wish I slept more. But it is what it is. And you know what? What else can I do? What else can I do? I'm here. I got my bulletproof coffee going. This time it's Sumatra. I'm using Sumatra dark roast with grass-fed butter and extra virgin, cold pressed, organic coconut oil, and I put that bad boy in my little NutriBullet, blended it up where it's nice and frothy. And it is an absolutely delicious treat this morning. I'm just waiting for it to reach my brain.
Nice. Very nice.
Yeah, man. Doing my thing, Siege. Doing my thing. That's about it, dude. And other than that, I'm just looking forward to another hot day in New York. Sweltering heat. My God, it was horrible. Horrible.
We are getting closer to the summer months, V. It's gonna warm up.
I think it's gonna be a hot summer this year, man.
Well, I tell you what, Jeff Sessions cooled off the Senate yesterday, didn't he?
I know. Why don't you talk about that real quick, dude? What happened with Jeff Sessions? I heard he absolutely was like slaughtering people. Like he went in there with an axe to grind, and he just started like beheading these arguments like ISIS beheading infidels. It's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, listen, let's Jeff Sessions, outside of my difference in opinion regarding certain aspects, this guy is an old school politician. So he's the kind that's going to roll up his shirt sleeve. He's going to be the kind of guy that's not afraid to get in a fist fight, to get in your face and tell you how it is. And that's exactly what he did. He got up there and just specifically stated he is just absolutely appalled that his integrity would be called into question with the number of years that he has served, our country. He specifically stated that that any conversation that he has or had with the president is completely confidential, which is accurate, up to the point where he was serving as AG, and then also he basically came back and kind of countered some of the Comey as testimony. He specifically stated that there were times that whenever Comey stated that Trump wanted to meet with me one-on-one, I didn't feel uncomfortable. Sessions was able to counter that. So he did an absolute great job. Nothing to see. Look the other way, and this whole narrative is just quickly fading. And also, James, the Russian analyst, did an absolute great job on roguemoney.net of breaking this down for us. So go check that out.
roguemoney.net. Yeah, absolutely, man. One of the things that we talked about is the libtards have decided that the Russia narrative will be the hill that they die upon. And they all climbed to that hill. They all climbed to that boat. And you have that idiot Mueller. He is an independent counsel who chooses 3 Democrat donors to join his investigative unit. And, according to the rules, Trump could just fire him.
Right. Yeah. If they
and that's what's going to happen.
Yeah, they could get to the point where they eventually say that this is nonsense. Why are we doing this? There's nothing that's been found in these hearings. Nothing's been found in the testimony. There's no criminal element. So what's the purpose of wasting taxpayer dollars?
Well, which is what they usually, because they're good at it, CJ. They're great at
Oh hell yeah, yeah.
They're the experts. Like I recommend we got to interview that guy, Peter Schwitzer. He's the guy who did the documentary Clinton Money.
Oh
But
yeah.
Peter Schweitzer. He also did. He also wrote the book Extortion. And that's the book where he details as soon as day one a congressman or a senator, the typical congressman or senator hits Washington D.C., he's fundraising.
Oh,
that's
absolutely.
all these idiots do is waste taxpayer money and then start fundraising so he get reelected again and again and again and again and again and again and again. So he can be a jackass and turn brain dead like John McCain and Maxine Waters, Murky Waters over there. So that's what happens. We got to interview him, but that's exactly the climate. You want to talk about the swamp? That's the swamp, man.
It is that whole fundraising effort that raises these millions of dollars based, upon like these super PACs, this corporate money. And here's one other angle to take to it, V, regarding this whole Russian thing is that, I think that the narrative regarding them wanting to federalize the election process is completely accurate. We have evidence that Homeland Security was trying to infiltrate the state level election process. Listen, the Democratic base has a huge following. They're massive, but their biggest problem, V, is getting them out to vote. That was one of the driving forces around Obama, getting elected, was his boots on the ground efforts to get the people out to vote. They always struggle with that constantly. And so they know that in specific. So how do you work around that when you're having challenges of a society that is dependent upon the system that will vote for you undoubtedly every time, but they don't get out to vote. They're not up early enough, whatever. The way to do that is to manipulate the election, V. And I think that's the end result. That's what they want. They don't want another election cycle. What exactly happened this past year?
Right.
The infamous words of Michael Moore, right? A big F you to
the establishment.
To the establishment.
Absolutely. And you know what? That's exactly what they're going to get in 2020 as well. And the reason for that is this. The reason why this whole Russia involvement in the elections, Russia involvement in Trump, Russia, the reason for that is this, okay? If they could create a witch hunt, if they could bog the president down, which right now they're just self-immolating at this point, okay? This is a failure. This whole Russia thing was as successful as the deep state's maneuvers in Syria, okay? The whole Russia thing was designed expressly for the simple fact that that was going to be the pretext in which for them to federalize the elections. That's why it's important, okay? This is not just about getting Trump. This is about ensuring their control and sealing the deal for them forever. Because they realized, they locked themselves out. You guys got to understand this. He's not perfect by any stretch of the imagination, but he was not part of the plan. And what I mean by that is this, and even though I called him out many times, and me and Siege, we've been here, we've called him out many times when he flubbed, and we will continue to do so, okay? At the end of the day, we never called him a globalist. We never called him an Illuminatist. We never called him an establishment guy. We never called him a deep stater. We never called him a puppet. The reason for that is this. He was never part of the plan. These guys, the good old boy network, thought that they can lock up the elections, and for the most part they did, where you would have to raise a ridiculous amount of money in order to run. And because of the fact that they controlled the media, they controlled perception. Well, here comes Trump, who's a multi-billionaire. He's able to inject himself into the race. And then using the power of social media, Donald Trump would send out a tweet that is picked up by hundreds of millions of people. Hillary, for nothing, for free. Okay, and he'll sway political opinion. Hillary Clinton will take out a $20, $30 million ad on NBC after a football game, and nobody would watch it.
She can't even rig an election and win, B. She's so bad.
That's how bad it is. So think about it. This is why they are terrified. They're befuddled by the fact that we know this. Look, I'm going to remind all of you, and I think we need to take a walk down memory lane because nobody's really talking about this. I will remind you guys this. 36% of the votes that were counted in Detroit were fraudulent. Okay? There are people who are dead, people who are voted twice, the whole 9 yards. 36% in Detroit. And we've seen that in many of the Democrat-controlled strongholds. That's why this whole bullshit about, oh, yeah, Hillary won the popular vote. If you take away the imaginary votes, the fictitious votes, she has 40% less votes than what Donald Trump has, guaranteed. Okay, guaranteed. Especially in states like Illinois, Nuevo York, and the Communist Republic of California. Okay, the People's Republic of California. You take out those 3 states and all the voter fraud that goes on over there, Trump won in a landslide. Okay? They know this. So now they're befuddled. They're shocked. The system is shocked. They're like, wait a minute, you know what? We tried to rig the election. It failed and backfired. We tried to close out the election so nobody but our establishment cronies and our good old boy clubs could run. And now that's all failed. So this Russia effort, guys, was the last-ditch effort for them to federalize the election. This was the motion. They are literally self-immolating. They're literally falling on their own swords, and they are coming apart wholly and entirely. That's what's going on, bro.
Yeah, well said. Well said, because they control both sides of the aisle. Right? This isn't a Republican or Democrat thing. They control both sides of the aisle. A perfect example, point in case for that, was yesterday. Rand Paul put forth legislation to block this arms sale to the Saudis. This largest ever arms sale to the Saudis. Okay, they put forth. They were within 5 votes of blocking this sale. And guess who was the deciding factor on these 5 votes? It was the Democratic Party that voted in support of this. So it's a controlled state. It's the illusion of choice that exists in DC, and Absolutely. Trump just completely destroyed all of that.
Absolutely. And Trump has no problem with selling, our archaic pieces of crap military equipment, which is what our military is fielding these days, to the Saudis. Saudis ain't going to win no war. These guys don't fight. They don't do nothing. Anyway, let's get into some of the things here, CJ. What do you want to start, bro?
That's your call. What's this? Nothing to see here, folks. Chinese head of
Anbang.
Yeah. Double check that one. Let's.
Anbang is the investment conglomerate that's connected with Kushner, and the head of Anbang. Oh my God!
Is that like a porno site?
What in the world happened? I clicked the link and it's gone.
Yeah, I was wondering. Yeah. So anyway, yeah. So.
Wow. They removed that quickly.
Did they remove that article?
It's gone. Let me check another route.
Okay.
Head of Anbang arrested. Let me see. Head of Anbang. Anbang insurance stepping aside. Oh yeah, I mean I put this in. I put Anbang, head of Anbang detained, and my Google search is coming out with prison gangbangs. I'm like, what the hell?
That's why. That's why I asked what kind of stories you're covering.
Wow. No, Google. No, that's not what I want.
Yeah.
Okay, Anbang. Yeah. Okay. Stepping aside and he's being probed. The head of Anbang, Wu Jiawu, stepping aside amid probe reports. Now, Anbang Insurance, one of China's most aggressive overseas investors, said its chairman, Wu Jiwu, can't perform his duty for personal reasons. That's like something his wife would tell him. And has delegated his authority to other executives. The company made its brief statement hours after a leading Chinese magazine reported that Wu was taken away for investigation. And while Anbang's statement didn't respond directly to Tuesday evening's media report, it confirmed weeks of speculation that Wu, a high-profile billionaire who married a granddaughter of former Chinese Paramount leader Deng Xiaoping, has been in trouble. The statement from Anbang added that the group's business operations remain normal. Basically, this guy's just setting aside. It has no connections to Kushner. I think that's what it was. I think the original link was trying to link Kushner when there was no link there. It's just this guy's being taken out for personal reasons. And moving on, UN sends aid to 10,000 Syrians, CJ, using Ethereum and the blockchain. Did you see that, bro?
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Yeah, that's just a great example of how the blockchain can be, utilized.
Absolutely, man. I mean, one of the largest ever implementations of Ethereum blockchain for a charitable cause has just concluded a successful trial. Completed on the 31st of May, the project run by the United Nations World Food Program was designed to direct resources to thousands of Syrian refugees by giving them cryptocurrency-based vouchers that could be redeemed in participating markets. As revealed exclusively to CoinDesk, the platform was successfully used to record and authenticate transfers for about 10,000 individuals. The platform was implemented by Parity Technologies, a startup led by Ethereum co-founder Gavin Wood, and blockchain big data firm Datarella. Awesome, man. Look at this. This is how the blockchain is revolutionizing everything. It's here, folks. It's here. Love it.
Yeah, good stuff, man. Good stuff.
See, did you see this one? Erdogan accuses the UAE of funding the coup, my friend. Why don't you break that down real quick, man? Because we all know the UAE is the Middle Eastern hub for money laundering. If you want to launder money, transfer it anywhere in the Middle East, you got to go to the United Arab Emirates, and Dubai being the central hub of that.
Yeah, Erdogan, he always reminds me, he's that candle in the wind, right? He's always like, teetering left, right, wherever, whatever the day takes him. But, this may have a little bit of legs on it, V, in terms of the UA funding. It's a known fact. I'm quoting here that we know that a country provided $3 billion in financial support for the coup attempt in Turkey and exerted efforts to topple the government in illegal ways. On top of that, it is a Muslim country. So, again, Erdogan, his claim regarding the UAE, and then you look at, didn't they align with the Saudis in regards to Qatar as well? Specifically, again, this stems back to that failed coup attempt that a lot of people were saying that was staged and all this kind of stuff. I mean, that would have taken massive effort to accomplish something like that. But this, again, the funding coming in from the UAE and being able to track the money, V, this is probably specifically what happened.
You know what? Absolutely, I wouldn't doubt it. If and here's the thing, it definitely came out of the UAE, and the money could have gotten there via Saudi Arabia, United States, CIA, deep state characters. They could have all funneled their money right through the UAE. Because let me tell you this, guys, most of those skyscrapers you see in Dubai are empty, and they would sell out skyscrapers and say, oh look, this skyscraper is being erected. It's already at 97% occupancy. Meanwhile, it's only at 20% occupancy. And then they'll go ahead and sell it. Why? Those buildings are used to launder money. That's why all the wealth you see in Dubai, it's not just oil wealth. There's a lot of dirty dealings with the Maktoum family, which is the royal family that runs the United Arab Emirates. Okay? There's a lot of shenanigans, a lot of nefarious activities that are occurring, and a lot of money laundering that's being done that way. That is the money laundering hub. You if you're Mossad, if you're CIA, if you're MI5, if you're Saudi intelligence, you want crap moved around in the Middle East, money being, washed, laundered, and then filtered to various other Swiss accounts. It's through the UAE. Brad Birkenfeld could prove that for you. Brad will tell you it's I mean, the links just between UBS and the United Arab Emirates and their banks, it runs deep. How do you think ISIS is getting their funding? It's through here. The Saudis will give them money, but it's laundered through the UAE. It's laundered through Dubai. That's how the game is played. Ridiculous.
Absolutely. And in other exciting news, it looks like there could be eyewitness testimony coming out in regards to Seth Rich, V. This is again, something that's being reported was that his neighbor, apparently the night that he was murdered, observed Seth and was talking with him, and he was at the point where he was quote unquote conscious and breathing. He didn't even know, according to his neighbor, Scott Roberts was his neighbor. He's even stating that Seth didn't even know he was shot. V. They're also reporting that from that night there were 3 responding police officers, all of which had their body cams on them, and lo and behold, V, those all videos from that night from those officers is missing.
I mean, there's no conspiracy there. There's no conspiracy, and the fact that he didn't know he was shot, what that tells me? It was a silenced weapon.
Yep, exactly.
It was a silenced weapon. This was a hit. This was a hit. I wouldn't be surprised if the bullet was even had like poison on it.
You
I
know,
mean, we never got an autopsy. We never got a toxicology report.
yeah. So just, and now several witnesses in terms of, the same exact thing, saying that he was conscious, he was breathing, prior to him to be taken to the hospital. What happened from that stage? And again, I think this is something that needs to continue to be pressed, needs to be continue asking for an investigation with this. So very interesting. Article. Again, a lot of people could be coming out of the woodwork to say, yeah, I was there. Until it's validated. But hopefully this is accurate. From his neighbor coming out and saying these things, and then more importantly, let's pray for his safety.
Yeah, that's unbelievable, man. Unbelievable. All right, moving on to the big B-52 in the alt media verse. That is none other than Alex Super Male Vitality Jones. What's going on with him, man?
Yeah, I've probably listened to InfoWars Beat probably at least 12 years. Going back to all his great videos.
We all had our start there. We all had our start there.
I think we did. I think that we did, right? Whenever we started to swallow the red pill. But now this whole thing is blowing up now because he afforded Megyn Kelly an interview. Okay. And so now, like, all these people are coming forth just because of an interview. They're pulling funding from her show. And I don't like Megyn Kelly personally, right? But if a journalist wants to report on something and interview someone, she should have the right to do that. Right. Now, in specifics, it looks like, JP Morgan has pulled advertisement from her show. And apparently, this dying news.
But American Express, who doesn't pull funding from her show, American Express is not backing down from pulling funding and sponsorship of that, that Donald Trump play where they're stabbing Donald Trump. That they won't pull.
Right. But they will pull it from an interview. And specifically, now I was listening, to Alex yesterday. And in regards to, Megyn and the interview and everything, and he knew specifically what was going to happen, right? He afforded them, I believe, like close to, I think he said like 12 or 16 hours that they spent, recording video and everything. And obviously they've chopped it all up, to her benefit. So he's just kind of like laying out a personal challenge to her, stating, hey, specifically, what I stated. He typically had always said previously he would not agree to do any interviews unless it was live, because he knows, what happens once they leave the interviews. They cut it up to their agenda, right? And they put it out in that manner. So hopefully, I think we're going to get to see a very edited version of this interview. But again, just on the cusp of this, she just got finished, getting beat up by Vladimir Putin. Where
that was savage.
He basically handed it to her. I have a feeling that Alex probably did the exact same thing. So again, just the hype of this that's going around right now everywhere is just insane. You had Chelsea Clinton tweeting out about it.
Oh my God! What did she say?
Oh, she was like, how can
Chelsea Hubble?
Yeah, Chelsea Hubble, how can she, provide an arena to Alex Jones, who claims that Sandy Hook was a staged event and all this, and
it was a staged event.
All this information that's coming forth. And so, so he has questioned these things. He's questioned, a lot of these things occurred, everything from 9/11 to all these, conspiracies. But however, in saying that, from the past several years that I've listened to InfoWars, a lot of things that Alex was talking about, 5-10 years ago has come to full premonition.
Absolutely.
Exist.
Yep.
Anyway,
Absolutely.
Yeah, I just thought that was interesting, the whole thing. So,
well, that's the way the libtard networks work, man. It's if they can't control you, they just ban you. They're not going to tell you, okay, they're not, they don't feel like that you're an adult enough that if you don't like what you see, you just simply change the channel. They're like, hell, we don't like it. That's the difference between, conservatives and libertarians, where if we see something we don't like, we just change the channel. A libtard wants to ban it, wants to censor it.
Yeah.
We're the tyrants.
Now, another interesting point that he did discuss yesterday with Roger Stone was the fact that Jared Kushner is actually losing a lot of his influence,
of course,
with Trump, and in fact, they mentioned a particular hard date of July that if things don't get better for Jared, that in fact that he potentially could be out.
Good. He's not doing much of anything anyway, besides walking around and showcasing the J. Crew War collection. I mean, the kid has no credibility. Go back to your ridiculous, corrupt real estate, businesses, man. Go figure out how you can offload $2 billion worth of a skyscraper that's like, 30% occupancy. Figure that out, Jared. Then come back and then this is a guy who can't even offload a skyscraper. He has all, and he's a slumlord. He's gonna go out there and be talking about solving Middle East peace. I mean, get the hell out of here. Ridiculous.
Well, apparently he was the driving force. Trump really didn't want to get rid of Michael Flynn. He was, very hesitant about, releasing him.
Of course, he loved him.
But apparently, Jared was one of the driving forces around it, saying this is going to clear everything up. If you get rid of him, everything's going to go away. We'll be on smooth sailing from this point on. Just
He's
go ahead and get rid of him.
This is exactly the point. It's when I heard that they got rid of Flynn, I said, this is not going to stop. It's just the beginning. And so
blood in the water.
Exactly. These liberals are insatiable. They will not stop. That's why you can shoot off forget 59 Tomahawk missiles. You can shoot off a nuke into the Middle East. You can shoot. They can shoot off a nuke into Moscow, and it won't be enough for these liberals. They're insatiable. The far left is insatiable. So I would have known that right away. And Bannon knows this.
Right. Yep.
And Bannon's been proved right. The way you beat these guys, you stand up to them and you fight. You give them nothing, but it's like what Leonidas said in 300. You give them nothing, but take from them everything. You embarrass them, you make fun of them, you show them how weak their ideas are, you laugh at them, and if they get physical with you, you knock them the hell out because they're weaker than you are. That's it. That's it. You got to bowl over the far left. We're tired of this Antifa nonsense. We're tired of the far left. It's like, look, man, if I'm walking around, and I'm a big guy, Siege, if I'm walking around, if I see some Antifa guys, I'm giving every single one of them atomic wedgies. Every single one of them will have atomic wedgies, or I'm going to probably duct tape one to a couple of walls. Because that's how you got to deal with these people. You got to embarrass them. The same thing with the left and their ideology. You have to embarrass and laugh at their stupid ideology. Anybody who debates a leftist on television, just laugh at them. Like, you have the most stupidest idea, and they'll go, ha, 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 and just start laughing. They don't know what to do. They'll just literally break down and freak out. It's crazy. Anyway. I guess that brings us down to the end of the show, my man. What do we got lined up for today?
It is hump day.
It is hump day. We got the bearded man from the California. Bix Weir's going to be on with us today, so I'm excited about that. Bix is going to have some great stuff to talk about. And with that being said, folks, again, you can check us out, roguemoney.net, Rogue Money Facebook, Rogue Money at the Rogue Money on Twitter, and check us out on the Apple News. Subscribe to the podcast, and most importantly, subscribe to this channel. Show your love and support for us as we fight the algos that are working against us. And make sure you hit that notification bell so you are alerted, hopefully, when a show is on, you are hopefully alerted. With that being said, guys, we are over and out. And also check out our sponsors, myfreedomnow.us. And we are over and out. Take it away, CJ.
Great show, bro.
Good job, buddy.
That is it.